Hey everybody, welcome back to Dana Disagrees. Today we are talking about how violence solves everything. I think it's this normal thing in culture to say like violence doesn't solve anything or violence isn't the answer or the solution. Yeah, it is. So why don't we talk about that a little bit today because I strongly disagree with that idea in culture. Before we get all into that, I'm going to do my normal reminder like I always do at the beginning. Please make sure that you join 3M Men Inside of School. That is my community of men who are working on their 3Ms, which is mind, muscle, and money. I'm going to put the link below and you guys can comment and ask questions if you want. Otherwise, you can click and you can go join that. And I would love to have you guys inside of there. And inside of that group, too, I'm going to be looking to create something super cool for the new year coming pretty soon. So just make sure you're watching my content for that. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel for Dana Disagrees. Make sure you're following me Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the platforms. I'm everywhere. I put out a lot of short form content, and the purpose of this is to have a podcast and just go into a little bit more detail about a few more things. And today, what I'm drinking is normally I have coffee from you guys, right? And I give you shout outs on Instagram and stuff like that if you're watching my story. But normally I have coffee sitting here and I tell you what I have inside. But today, I actually just have water because, well, it's a little bit later in the day. And so I already had my coffee this morning. And, well, actually, I didn't have coffee today because I've had that the last couple of days and I need to switch it up. And so I actually had a Machu Picchu today, which is like a clean, more like organic energy drink, and we have them all around here at Wellness Way. But what I'm drinking today, because I care so much about organic and healthy things and stuff, but the electrolyte packets that I'm using, and I do not sell these, I just tell you guys about them because I like them. They're called Salty, and they are so, so, so good. They actually, taste salty in your water because that's the point of electrolytes. But the grape is the one that has been my favorite lately, so that's what I have inside of there. And the grape is honestly, my gosh, the grape is so good that I'm pretty sure I'm going to change my name to LaQuisha. I'm going to go commit some crimes and get myself like 3 baby daddies this afternoon. It's that good. I kid you not. But speaking of crime, that's a really great segue into talking about how violence solves everything. So I'm going to start out today. I have a few notes in front of me because there's some stuff I wanted to touch base on today that I don't want to miss and I don't want to forget. So if you see me look down, I'm just making sure that I'm hitting all my bases for today, okay? So the first thing, I'm going to sit like this too. The first thing I want to kind of talk about is like, let's just talk about fistfights and men. I think men should just be able to go duke it out whenever they want, because if the world just allowed for men to beat each other up when they disagreed and go have a beer afterward, because let's face it, that's what you guys are going to do, so many more problems would get solved. And so many fewer stupid things would happen if you knew that you would get punched in the face for something that you did. I think we can probably all agree on that. And my audience is mostly men. And when I'm saying this, I hope I'm just speaking the words that I think a lot of you are thinking about all the time. And and remember, guys, I live in the United States. I live in Wisconsin. Right now, I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I live a little bit outside of the city, but I work in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so fistfights here anyway are a misdemeanor. I know that mutual combat laws are legal in 2 places. It's Texas and it's Washington. That was one thing I wrote down because I wanted to get that right. Mutual combat being, both parties consent. I think a police officer has to be present. I mean, as if 2 men who want to duke it out right there are going to wait for the police to show up. I mean, I get what they're trying to do there, but if you're going to fist fight, you might as well just do it then when the emotions are high, get it done with, and then, become friends later and stuff like that. But I don't agree with that. I just want men especially, to just go get your fights in. Go knock the guy out. It's good for character to just get into a fight every now and then and have your ass handed to you. It builds character and it builds men into better men. And that's my opinion. And maybe that's easy for me to say as a woman because I'm not the one getting into the fist fights, but men are the ones who lead culture. And I want the big, strong men leading culture. And I want your fists to be super dangerous. And I just hope that you never have to actually use them. But I also live in reality and recognize that sometimes you got to punch someone in the mouth for the stuff that they're saying. And you should be worried that if you say something stupid, someone else is going to punch you in the mouth. All right. And when we look at violence and we look at like crime and stuff, this example is talked about so widely, but I'm going to say it to you guys too, just in case no one's ever heard of it before. Over in like Dubai and Saudi Arabia, they don't have crime over there. You know why? Because if you steal something, they cut your hands off. Did you guys watch Aladdin? Like, so I grew up on all those like classic Disney movies, and so in Aladdin, when they're in the marketplace, and Jasmine, who's the princess who has no idea how to go to a marketplace, she takes an apple and she gives it to a kid, and one of the guy working the cart who has the apples, he takes her hand, he puts it down on the table, and he's like, "Do you know what the fine or the penalty is for stealing?" And he's about to cut her hand off because that's real. That's what happens over in Saudi Arabia. That cartoon, that movie was actually an accurate depiction in that one part of what actually happens. But you know what? If you steal and you know you're going to get your hand cut off, you're probably not going to do it. You can leave your keys in the car over in those parts of the world and feel safe because you know very violent things will happen to you if you commit any kind of crime or any kind of violence. Violence will help solve a lot of this and help deter a lot of this. 100%? No. You will always have some really bad people in this world, and they need to be dealt with. And actually, if we really step back, like let's really like think about this, you guys. If we step back and think about the whole entire world, there are about 20 people in this world where if we just got rid of them, the whole planet would just get better. People like Soros, people like Bill Gates, people like Hillary Clinton, if we got rid of them, everybody else's life would get better. Have you ever heard Bill Gates talk? I mean, the guy thinks he's God for some reason. He's got this complex and he thinks he rules the world and just gets to be in charge of everybody and thinks he gets to be in charge of everybody's health. And it's like, you are not God. You are actually the furthest thing from that. You are actually extremely evil, and we need to get rid of people like you. And then if we got rid of these people, this handful of people, I mean, it's 10, it's 20, it's 30. I don't know how many are at like, that tippy top, or if we really got rid of them, everything would get better, but it's only a handful of them. It's only like 20 people. And if we got rid of them though, think about what would happen. At least think about what would happen in the United States. We could get rid of them, and then all of a sudden our tax dollars wouldn't probably be sent overseas anymore. They would probably just stay here. And you know what else would happen? We wouldn't have burning down of cities and all these crazy protests because those people wouldn't be funding any of that kind of stuff anymore. Those people want crime to happen. They want crime to happen because when a lot of crime happens, it destabilizes everybody. Okay, it makes it so that we all have to live in survival, and we have to be worried about what's around the corner, worried about taking the subway, worried about driving in certain parts of town. And when you have to worry about that all the time, what happens? You don't have time to realize that there's only like 20 people that we have to get rid of on the planet for all of our lives to get better. That's their play, and that's why they do these things. And then what they do on top of this too is they get all of us to fight about what the actual problem is, right? Like, oh, it's all the black people. Oh, it's all the white people. Oh, it's all the Jewish people. Oh, it's women. Oh, it's men. It's toxic masculinity. It's the white Christian straight man. No, it's not any of that. It is certain people with certain names, and we need to call those people out by names. Bill Gates, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, Anthony Fauci. We need to call those people out by name because they are actually the problem. They are the ones that are deplorable. They are the ones who need to be removed from the planet. They are the ones, Justin Trudeau, that we need to figure out, what are we going to do with all of these people? Those people are the problem. It's not a specific group of people. It's that group of 20-ish people is what need to be removed. These people, they are elite tyrant fucks. That's like my word for them. They are elite tyrant fucks. And they tell us to go to work so that they can pretty much just take our money and get rich off of us and do whatever they want with that money. But it's just, oh my gosh, you guys, it just drives me nuts. And now I'm just kind of on a little bit of rant on that. But they want to be able to take that money and send it obviously to other countries so that the other countries can kick it back to us, right? So their whole play is, oh yeah, why don't you guys, us, why don't you guys just go to work so that you can earn money and then pay tax to the government. And we're going to take those taxes and we're going to send them overseas so that they can kick it back to us. But we're not going to give it to you. We just want all of you to be poor. And then we're going to import some crime into your neighborhood so that you just have to live in survival. But if there's crime in your neighborhood, you better not use a gun because guns are really bad. And we would rather that the criminal killed you rather than you killing the criminal. And we don't want you to kill the criminal because, oh my gosh, what if the criminal has a family, God forbid? And what if the criminal's black? I mean, we can't obviously talk about that in any of the stats. Plus, on top of the crime, let's just have inflation and quadruple the prices of everything. But you know what's always going to be free? A vaccine. They'll always have your back on a vaccine, right? This is exactly what's going on all the time, you guys. And that's why I think violence at the end of the day is going to solve a lot of problems and be a really, really good solution for us. If we could get rid of those 20 people, if we have violent crimes for people who steal, like getting your hand chopped off, that it would make the hugest difference in our world, okay? People who touch kids, I'm not going to say the real name because something might happen, on the stream and stuff. You get censored for if you say too many crazy things. I don't even know if I'm going to get censored on this, but people who touch kids, done. They need to be removed from the planet, and they need to be removed from the planet really harshly. The 20 people I'm talking about, done. Get rid of them. We don't want them reproducing. We don't want them wreaking any more havoc on our lives than what they have. So, violence. Letting men just get in their fistfights, solving their stuff. Violence, removing some people from the planet. Violence, chopping a hand off or stealing, solves a whole lot of problems. But we have women and their feminine thoughts taking over so many places. And I love the feminine side of things. I love being feminine. It's nice to just be soft. But it's gone too far where all the criminals are getting away with stuff. I mean, you stand up to a criminal and they're going to punish you for it. It's crazy. That's what happened to Daniel Penny. It's crazy. And I think, one thing that I want to leave you guys with and what I want to talk about from just stories from, my own life, a lot of you are probably parents. And I'm a parent. I have 2 boys, and right now they are 8 and 10. And I want to teach them to be able to stand up for themselves. So one of my kids, he's 8. And he told us recently that there was a kid at daycare who punched him for no reason. And when he came home, he didn't have a black eye, but he had like a little bit of a mark under his eye. And he told us, he's like, yeah, Gary punched me, for no reason. And I questioned him at first because my second one, like he'll spunky and he might instigate, some of that kind of stuff. And sometimes boys will be boys and they'll just be, like playing and stuff like that. But I asked him, like, did he really punch you for no reason? Did he really, was this really what happened? And he insisted on it. And we were like, well, did you punch him back? Because that's what needs to happen. He said no, because he was afraid of getting in trouble. And I'm like, no. I'm like, sweetie, like, if someone ever does punch you for no reason, then you punch them right back and you do it hard so that they know not to mess with you. That's the right answer of what we need to be teaching our kids. And then we said, if that happens at daycare, if that happens at school, then you might get in trouble with a teacher. Like, I know that, but you're not going to be in trouble with mom. Mom will stick up for you in those kinds of situations and say, like, no, this is how it is. That was a recent example. And actually a couple years ago when my second kid, when he was in kindergarten, there was another example of this on the playground where, my second kid, his name's Max. One of Max's friends had some other kid come up to him and like push him down or, something like that. And you know what Max did? Max kicked that other kid in the balls. And then we heard from the teacher that, Max did this at recess. We didn't have the full story. Once we learned the full story, I did email the teacher back and say, like, hey, we talked about this, and I just want to be clear with you that we don't think Max is in trouble or that he did anything wrong because he stood up for his friend. That's why he kicked that kid in the balls, and we think that's exactly what he should have done in this situation. We'll talk to him about, well, you don't want to just go kicking people for no reason or anything and make sure we have the full discussion, but you're standing up for your friend, and that is a behavior to be applauded, especially in today's culture and especially with men and especially teaching young boys that. So I I try to foster that kind of stuff in them. Again, I have 2 boys, and so they punch each other and they kick and they wrestle and they hit each other, and I let them do it, and I don't yell at them and tell them to stop. The only time I ever yell at them is like if they're doing it in the kitchen, they're near me, I tell them to get up, like go to the living room and do that, go outside and do that. I don't want it to be around me because you're gonna run into me or something. But I don't stop them from doing it. And when one hits the other, and if they try to tell on the other, I just say, I'm like, well, did you do something to deserve it? Because, like, here's the thing. In the real world, someone might actually hit you. I'd rather you figured it out from your brother early on. But from a parenting perspective, that's how I handle things. And I hope that's how you guys handle things. And that's how I kind of want society to handle things. Man, let the boys be boys. Let them be feral and wild. And let them figure that kind of stuff out. I want men to be able to fist fight. We need to off about 20 people from this planet, and we need to let our kids just be able to like duke it out on the playground and with each other, because we're going to build character and we're going to build really strong men if we can just do that. Violence solves everything, you guys. It's a good solution. I think it's a good solution. I think it's worth it. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know inside of school if you go join school. Remember, 3M Men is inside of school. I'm happy to have more of the violence conversation inside of there. I'll probably go post about it later today. But be sure you're following on all my platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you're subscribed to YouTube here. We're going to talk about a whole lot more things like this, but today I needed to do violence solves everything. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Give me a like. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.